Young women are not, and that's how you get to the point of being
She only
Tomi
cheated
Lahren.
because you weren't giving her enough attention.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Exactly. There was no more intimacy. There was a breakdown in communication. If a guy cheats no matter what, he is a piece of crap societally. Here's the thing. There are now people on the right who are still telling you, no, young men, it's not that the option's available to you. It's not that the agenda that's been driven home and that has been thrust upon you is a problem. It's actually just you. Young men, you are still, even though you make up 94% of workplace deaths, even though you make up so many of the suicides, you are the problem, at least according to Tomi Lahren.
It's a major problem. And, you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. They did much the same thing with quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less. And if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better. But, Laura, I got to tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And therein lies a big part of the problem.
Yeah, and by the way, I understand this idea of dealing with the work ethic of young people in some ways, sure. Tomi Lahren is the master of the straw man. Like, that's just not the real problem. There are no options for men. Well, who's feminized men? And I just heard Tomi Lahren list a bunch of things that she wants and expects from men. Okay. But maybe men have expectations too. So men are the ones who are living at mom's home and ordering DoorDash. Here's the thing that you need to understand. Around the 20-year-old, like Gen Z women, they're twice as likely to be obese as men. They're significantly more likely to be depressed and to be on psychiatric medication. So young men, who, by the way, are in many ways becoming more fit, young men who are often in many ways, certainly young conservative men, who are focusing on self-improvement. That's the message that you hear from people like Dr. Jordan Peterson. That's the message you hear from a lot of people, whether you like him or not, and I think he's wrong on a lot, Andrew Tate. That's the message you're hearing from people like Andrew Wilson out there. It's resonating with young men. It's not a message. You can argue until you're blue in the face, but the message to young men right now, where they are checking out of the dating pool, the message is very consistent. Young men, get your house in order, make yourself valuable, make yourself desirable so you can select the right kind of woman for you. Young men are less obese, they're less depressed, they're more independent, and women still blame young men? Let me tell you, can anyone out there name me one fat pride male model? One who's making millions. Hey, can anyone name me an equivalent to OnlyFans for young men? You've read numbers as high as 25% of young women have an OnlyFans or have considered it. The lowest I've seen is 15%. What's the equivalent?
Young straight men. There are young gay men that are fat, gross, potato sex symbols.
Yeah. I don't really know about sex. I'm sure they have OnlyFans. But as far as like the Tess Hollidays of the world, as far as take your pick, the entire Victoria's Secret lineup where they did plus size.
Yeah.
Look, you cannot continue to blame men while women are being told that they are beautiful at any size, that they can have an abortion at any time, that all of their decisions are valid and none are valid for men. To the point now where we've invalidated young men's decisions to not engage. I would argue young men have far fewer prospects when they are looking at good women in their generation than women do. And you know how you know the dialogue reflects that? Tomi Lahren, she can't help herself. She lists a bunch of expectations of men and none from herself. Andrew Wilson asked her, that's why we had him on the show on Piers Morgan. He said, can you name me one duty? He said, there are many women who would love to be feminine, who would love to have a man take care of them, who would love to have a family and be able to stay home. Okay, great. Those are things that you would want. What are you bringing to the table aside from being fatter, more depressed, and physically inert than ever? That is young women. It's not the same message that young men are being bombarded with. Young men right now, and I have a son, I have a daughter, I'm gonna have to protect her from predators. Anyone touches her wrong, guess what? You'll see me on the nightly news with cuffs behind my back. I have to protect him from false accusations of him being a predator. I've had to think about this when you have a boy-girl twin. I have to teach my daughter that she is not perfect just the way she is. She is not a princess. Everything she does isn't inherently virtuous. And I have to teach my son the same. Also, you're not a piece of garbage because you were born a young white male. Don't own the checking your privilege. Don't own the white guilt. Then I have to teach both of them, you are both imperfect. You are both fearfully and wonderfully created in the image of God, and your actions define you. Society says, man at fault, woman beautiful at any size, brave no matter what you do, all choices are as valid as the next choice. Men, these are your duties. And then you see it from conservative, so-called conservative women. This is what we expect of you, okay? What can we expect of women? Why are you trying to control me? Okay, then enjoy 60% of women being single and unmarried by the year 2035, I think is the stat that I heard. What she just said is flat out wrong and sounds really shrill and naggy.
And there's hypocrisy in what she said, her fake little scenario that she presented.
Yeah.
A woman wants this, a woman wants that, a woman wants this, and the man just wants to sit at home in his mom's basement. Well, let's think about that little analogy you just made up there. His mom's basement? Where's dad?
Yeah.
Did mom get tired of her marriage when it was convenient for her and then leave him, take the house?
80%.
And now dad's in an apartment, can't afford to provide for his son?
Yeah.
So now he's living at home with a mom who left his dad at a convenient time and put him out. Oh, why doesn't he like women? Why doesn't he trust women?
Yeah. No, she's making it sound like young men just put in no effort and live at home. Hey, hold on a second. Let me ask you. Who was it who spearheaded an entire movement to make sure that you wouldn't have to pay for your own birth control? Was it men with condoms? Was it men? Or no, it was, that's right, Sandra Fluke, remember that? Where it should all be taxpayer-funded on-demand, period. Same thing, Hobby Lobby. It was a violation of your rights to not have abortion or abortificants, as they believe it. 16 out of 21 birth control methods were paid for by Hobby Lobby Health Insurance, but it was a violation of your... So who was the one who wants free birth control? Which group wants free extended maternity leave, free child care, rearing, raising so you can out... I just want to be clear, which one is that? Is it young men or is it young women? How many young women are checking out and going to trade schools, the trend that we see? How many are becoming carpenters, electricians, working in a foundry? Sure, there are plenty of lazy young men, entitled young men. Absolutely.
Is Tomi Lahren, is she married to like a
former baseball
tradesman
player. Who's now a coach?
Yeah. Okay, I mean that's cool. I'm sure he's not a lazy guy, but
yeah. So
she definitely
wealthy guy. I'm sure
checked a lot of boxes for herself there.
Yeah. I'm sure there were no tradesmen around who were working really hard.
She says all these young men are lazy. Who do you think's putting up the freaking electric poles?
I know. Yeah.
More construction than ever in history in this country.
Yeah.
Who do you think is doing it, dum-dum?
Yeah. It's just a feminist.
Not young men?
Listen, it's just like a feminist rehash.
Fake nose makeup chicks? You think that's who's doing it?
Yeah.
Really? You think?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gerald.
No, don't be.
Fine. My problem is it's just like Tomi Lahren is sounding just like what she purports to hate. And that's my issue with her specifically on this, is that she doesn't look at what caused men to be in that state. She doesn't look at that and say, hey, what are we telling young men right now? What are we doing to them as women, as society in general? What are we telling young men? Because that's what we're really talking about, is young men are checking out. Okay, why? Not, stupid, lazy young men. That's not how you solve the problem. Even if you disagree with what's causing it, you don't go, men are being lazy right now and living in mom's basement. Stupid men. We have enough men telling other men that they're stupid men. We have enough self kind of regulation amongst men. What we don't have enough of is looking at how are we training society? Are you getting what you've asked for, ladies? Do you like what you have? Okay, then let's change it. Don't just keep blaming men. Try to figure out what the root of the problem is.
Yeah.
Then we can get somewhere.
Well, there are two solutions to this, okay? And they don't like the male solution. The young male solution, statistically, and we've talked about this, they're just checking out. They're saying, I'm not going to get married. It's too much risk. I don't like the choices that I'm looking at before me as far as women. Young women, like Tomi Lahren, their solution is to blame men more for checking out.
What about a young man who's just planning his life? He's like, I'm working my ass off. I'm working 10 hours, 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. I come home. My parents are, not just my mom. I hate that. Because it implies that the mom just leaves and takes everything, and the dad's a deadbeat, whatever. But he's just this young guy. He's living at home with his parents, saving up money so that someday he can, when he's ready to propose to a woman, when he's ready to start a family, when he's ready to suggest that to a woman, he has all the things behind him ready to go.
Yeah.
That he has the money, he has an investment, he has, investment accounts, he has down payment for a house.
Yeah.
The guy has a car that's paid off.
Yeah.
The guy who can support somebody. What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
Because he lived at home with his parents until he was 25.
Right.
Took advantage of the opportunity he had because he came up kind of, not rich.
Let me tell you what a young man goes. First off, let me give you a very clear example, okay? If you're a man and you're obese, now you're 2 times as likely to be obese if you're a woman, a young woman than a young man. That's just a fact. And young men don't typically like obese women. Black guys, we get it, but so you're a young man and you're obese. You're living in your basement. You know what? Not one of your male friends says, "Nah, don't worry, you're in great shape."
Yeah.
The best you can hope for is, "Hey, man, you're in a rough spot. I'm here for you. You'll figure it out."
Yeah.
We don't tell them that you're beautiful and brave in your state of disarray. Every single woman, by the way, who are twice as likely to be obese as young men, has friends going, "No, Becky, you're beautiful." If he doesn't, I had a scenario. This is true. I had a scenario where I was roped in by my then lady to console her friend who boyfriend broke up with her. Mm-hmm. And they were going, "Oh my God, let's go. He just doesn't deserve you." And they were like, "Tell her." I go, "I remember when she cheated on him." Like, what? And they all were like, "No, it's his loss." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not like he dodged a bullet. What? You want me to? Whereas if a guy cheats on a woman, we'll go, even the bad guys are like, "Nah, she caught you. Well, them's the breaks. It's your consequence."
Yes.
Young men are held accountable. Young women are not. And that's how you get to the point of being
She only
Tomi
cheated
Lahren.
because you weren't giving her enough attention.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Exactly. There was no more intimacy. There was a breakdown in communication. If a guy cheats, no matter what, he is a piece of crap societally. And I'm not saying that either one is okay, but I remember going through that going, wow, I guess there is no wrong that can be committed here that is impermissible. Hey, let me ask you this. You're a young man. You go through it. You go, "Oh, okay. Hey, I think she's really, I think that woman's really, you know what? I'm going to take my shot. Oh, wait, can't catcall. Oh, wait, according to Gillette, I can't even go up and hit on a woman. Okay. Oh, wait, we have a problem of rape culture." So if everything is consensual, but she doesn't like me later on and I break up, she could still go out and falsely accuse me of rape and I lose everything, as we saw with Aziz Ansari, as we saw with Chris Hardwick, as we saw with as we saw with Trevor Bauer. Okay, there's that. All right. Well, let's say I work, I don't incur student debt, and I finally find a right woman. Okay, well, if she doesn't want to work okay, she's going to go out and work. She's not going to raise the kids. Oh, I guess I have to outsource the raising of my children, which is never a part of my dream. All right, I guess I'm going to work extra hard so that we can get the best nanny. And oh, now I'm not present enough at home, and she's gone. And the law says that even if she never made as much as me, she can take all of it, and now I'm living in a junior suite. So men go, you know what? Considering the caliber of women out there in the young generations, they're checking out. And I'm not even I'm 37.
Especially if it's a young man and their mom is that woman.
Yeah.
In that scenario that you just played out.
Yeah.
Their mom is that woman. Why won't this man get married?
Yeah. And by the way, you also hear, by the way, if he loves you, he'll love you just the way you are, women tell other women. Guess what? That's not true. He loves you. There are things he wants to change about you, just like you with him. The pet project that you treat him as. But then I've also heard women go, if love is never transactional, you just heard not 1, 2, 3, but 4 or 5 transactional portions of that equation. Man has to be successful. Man has to be a provider. Man has to be masculine. Man has to lead until he starts leading in a way that you don't like, in which case you can leave him and take half. Love is never transactional, but she's not going for a carpenter who's working his ass off and making a good living but isn't rich and is a good man who will treat her right. There are plenty of men like that around. Young women aren't interested, and young women are fatter, more depressed, less mentally stable, and men are checking out. Here's the thing. You can scream women, and I don't want to see this. I want to see a return to traditional relationships because it's the most fulfilling thing that you can find in your life if you find a woman who is good, and women, if you find a man who is a leader and submit to him as in any other subordinate role to a leader, you will too find what is good. But here's the reality. You can scream until you're blue in the face and blame. They're checking out now. They're just not getting married. They don't think it's worth it. You can scream, you can continue to blame men, and you will die alone. That is a guarantee. There is no door number 2 until you start taking that lens and looking back on yourself. Let's talk about choice, because we always hear about women's choice. Tomi Lahren is now condemning men for making the only choice they have left. Let me walk you through it. All right? My body, my choice. Okay? Man and woman. They make a child. They make a baby. Only the woman's choice. Does the man have the choice? No, let's keep it. I'll raise it. No, you do not. Hey, well, actually, I don't want to have this child. Doesn't matter. You're on the hook financially for the rest of your life. You have no choice in whether it lives or dies, and you have no choice in whether you financially support. If it comes to financial support, be responsible. Don't be a deadbeat. If it comes to preserving its life, shut up. Don't be a misogynist. You can't tell her what to do with her body. Okay? All right? Choice. You can choose whatever you want. You can choose to work. 40% of the labor force are now women. That entirely changed the structure of our economy, basically overnight. You can choose to work or choose to be a stay-at-home mom, and both are beautiful and brave. Okay, man. Man wants woman. Man wants wife. Can he choose to be a stay-at-home dad? No, not if he wants a woman to marry him. Sometimes it happens. But let's be honest, it's not presented to us as a choice when we're young. Choice. Hey, if a man is the primary, can he choose to leave? No, you cannot. You will be punished. Everything that you've ever earned, including what you earned before you got married, will be stripped of you. You have no choice. Oh, you're not happy, woman, and you've never worked? You can choose to leave in the pursuit of your own happiness at the cost of your family, and you'll be richer than you could have ever dreamed and could ever have attained any other way. You married a successful guy. Take his shit. So the only choice that young men have, or you can say feel they have, is, do I want to play this game or not? And they are making their only choice left, which is not to play. And if you now start condemning them for making that choice, more people are going to make that choice. When you talk about choice, let's be very clear. A young, able-bodied man who wants to have a family has no choice. He has to work his entire life. He has to be responsible. He has to hold himself accountable. If he wants a good woman, if he wants a decent quality woman, to use the term, he has to stay in shape. He has to be on top of it. He has to be articulate. He has to be charming. He has to be well-groomed. He has to make a decent income. There's no choice. And he has no choice in what happens to his children, what happens to his finances. Like, let's just go through that. We focus for so long on women's choice, and now women don't like the choices they have left in men. Well, the only choices you have left were the men who were on your side saying, yes, women's choice. Oh, now you're upset that they're feminine? Feminists in covert, this is the only movement that I can think of that vilified catcalls. Now, there's a very big difference between come over here and suck my, that's wrong.
Whoa.
But a whistle or a, hey, you're pretty. Vilified catcalls, vilified men saying, hey, you know, if you smile, you have a beautiful smile. You smile more, you catch more flies with it. Vilified them. And now, vilify men for not complimenting them enough. Where'd the chivalry go? Where do you think? You're still here on YouTube. Remember when we could say whatever we wanted on YouTube and people didn't have to censor out words like gay? See, even that, right? That's not even a swear word. Or the word sex. Even if you're just talking about it, you're not saying anything profane. That's why I live stream on Rumble 5 days a week. Go subscribe over there on Rumble, where you get the live show every single day. If you're still using this archaic form of delivery for information on YouTube, I don't want to judge, but your father hates you.